Hello, 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 and welcome. This is Joanna with Dual Design, and we are here on this lovely, hopefully Saturday morning. Hopefully we're not too hot, not too cold, not getting freak weather. I don't know. I'm just hoping it's a lovely Saturday, that you've had a wonderful week, and you are ready to do some craft along with me today as we take our wallet envelope, our envelope wallet ephemera holder that we did on Tuesday. So you can check the link. I will probably put a quick link right up here. It'll come up right about now, 30 seconds in. And you can go back and look at how we sort of threw this together. Not super complicated, pretty easy. I got lucky. I found it folded, you know, to give us a tab, glued things in and on to create the pockets, so on and so forth. So you see little things right now sort of tucked in, so I know what to work on. And I can even see the possibility of going a little bit more lace or another piece of paper, adding a second pocket. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but we are going to make it a closed wallet, and we are going to glue it down to make another tuck into our altered book. Okay, so we are coming to the back end of the altered book. This is the last 4 pages or so, but in between coffee dyes, or 6 pages, whatever it was. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 pages back here, and I thought it'd be perfect for this little project before I have to do coffee dye, another 6 pages. Like, I still have things in here, but as I was working on this, I found pieces, you know, that I was like, oh, I gotta cut this up, I gotta work on that. I'm gonna actually may have to print a few more pages, guys. Oh my gosh, who knew? I thought I'd have enough scraps to go through this whole thing, and I might actually have to, for some of these things, print a page or 2. Or I'm really going to go deep into my printouts and see what still goes with all of this and not get too eclectic. But I still have coffee dyes to do, things like that. And I am realizing, who knew, this is about 8 tall by 5 to 5 1/4 wide. So I'm definitely probably going to do a little bit more templated kind of deal for all the rest of these pages, and just quickly like mass produce these pages and get them out, because I'm getting really tired of guessing at it, right? So today, I thought I was going to use this page and end up not, and I think, oh, well, it's perfect for this tuck-in over here. So it did get some other things going. So today we are going to finish a little bit of the actual piece of this so that we can collage here, get it glued down, and then I have it measured out for our peekaboo here so that when we're collaging and stuff, we can get our magnet in place. I tried to get my magnet in place, but it would not stay, like it kept pulling. So I feel like we're going to do this a little bit, you know, backwards. And we're going to collage over this, see if I can line up the next one, collage over it, try to keep them glued down so that they will do their job. Because they did, paper, you know, book pages are sort of thin, and sometimes they just aren't thick enough to help keep the glue intact. So anyway, as you can see, for the pages in between, I found some more rose pages that go with this kit, same paper kit. And so, you know, we have those, we'll glue in, and, you know, what's it called, distress and put in, so on and so forth. So we have things going, but the big thing tonight or today was to work on the main attraction, and that was to get our I got long flowy sleeves that I might regret that. It's getting this done today, and then we have other pieces to work into, and if not, I'll get to show them off. So oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, deep breath. I've already had too much coffee this morning, so that's not helping. Saturday morning, about 9 o'clock for you guys, and I'm already woohoo. No. So I found some pieces that I think we have a coin down here that's going to hold our lovely chenille felt yarn in place. We're gonna then wrap it up around our brad. I found one of the pretty silver and a yellowy pastel brads. I think will work. A little more silver. I know things are sort of 50-50 on this one, vintage wise, but I don't have colored gold based ones. All of our colored ones are silver, when only our pearls are gold, and the pearl one's a little big. But I even have a flower here to hide the brad, since we didn't do this ahead of time before gluing everything down. Truthfully, if you knew for sure, you would glue the paper down, poke your brad in, flatten your brad out, and then cover it with this piece of paper here, and that would have hidden our brad. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So we're going to use a little fussy cut to help hide the brads and just give another element, since we do see this when it's open. So all easy peasy stuff. But I am going to ink these guys with a little bit of green. I could do pink, but I think I like the idea of the green accent to get, because this has sort of a pinky color to it. A little hard to probably see in the coloring. I can tell after the print work, but it may not be as easy to see in the screen. I'll bring it up to the screen and see if it makes a difference. But I thought we'll enhance with this a very pink and green concept. We're even using this bottom corner up here, which has pink and green and dark enough, I'm hoping, contrasted to what's behind it, that as I was hoping for a greenish sort of tone. So this has my most possible green. She's in the wrong corner. If we were going the other way, she would so be what I want, but I might still use her on the other side. And it's a weird cut, but we'll see if maybe we can collage her with what's left over onto this side of the top corner. So we'll have her front and back to sort of bookend this cute little section. So that's a hope there. And then I have these little belly bands I created. You could use them as, I think I may have had bigger ones in the kit, but you could use it as a belly band. You could use it, you know, as a tuck. But I made little versions that you could border with. So I'm actually thinking to decorate this thing, we're going to do a few things. We're going to put some lace on it. So I hope you're all doing really well. Like I said, hopefully the weather is behaving itself. Now I'm trying to decide. I'm going to use a slightly flatter side. I want to do a little lace before putting it up against the edge so that when we close this, you get to see a little bit of the flowers, right? I want to give us some detail. We've got her down here with the pink ribbon. The ribbon is we're going to glue it down and have it come up and tie up here. It's nothing we're going to wrap around. It's just because we can tie it up here around the brad, but it's going to stay glued down here. So that way there's not a lot of bulk and we can easily stick things in behind it. But with that to sit there, I wanted something up here, nice and light and airy, but something to cover up that space. So if I do that, I wonder if, over or under, I wonder if I just go the other way actually and have it stick up a little bit. Yeah, okay. Now my glues are inside. Of course they are, right? Ladies and gentlemen, where else would they be? 1 second. Yeah, super hot weather means not leaving anything out in the garage if I can help it. I even turned the AC unit on out here in the garage, which it's sort of an AC unit. Yeah, sort of. Speaking of which, hold on. Oh, goodness. Well, maybe not. I'm sorry, guys. I left you over there all high and dry. Give me 1 moment. I was trying to see if I could turn anything down, but I know. I shouldn't have left you there. Oh, well. There we go. Okay. I want to make sure the fan wasn't up too high so that you might be hearing a light hum in the background. There's not much I can do about it. Yeah, really. And then I would stop the fan from moving so that it stays behind me and tries to keep me cool. I had to do this a little later than I wanted to, filming it so you guys could see it this morning. But, you know, when you have to do yard work and other things, because yard work is a whole lot worse than the heat. And then we're getting the last details prepped for school, for college. Getting the programs downloaded properly. And we ordered her artwork the other day. She needs some art supplies that we don't have. I mean, we might have, but I don't know for sure if we have it. So once she gets a you know, sample of everything, we know whether, like, some of the things that her aunt's given her over the years may or may not work if she all of a sudden runs out and we get caught a little bit. Sometimes you're like, oh, I need that right now and I have a little something I can use, but it's not always enough, but it's something. So anyway, we ordered that. We ordered her headset. She's already using her storage units, her external drive and whatnot. So we wanted to make sure that we put the programs on external drive. That way certain elements automatically save over there. So it'll keep her, don't want to completely trust the server for the school because things happen. Or you have at least a version of it on your computer. So in case you especially with digital artwork, redo something and then we do something else and we don't have it on the wrong thing, we don't realize we've saved over, we can't go in, we hate what we've done. You can mess up a digital artwork as bad as a physical one. It's really bad, of course, when you do physical artwork, because once you do it, like, you know, ceramics, oils, paints, I mean, at least acrylic paint, you can go over it again and try again, but you still have a layer that you've created that you have to fix and you can't go back. And you know, we thought with the digital world that, okay, you can go back and you can undo, and as long as you're still in that file, the moment you save and you close that file, when you open it up again, all the history of what you've done has not saved anymore. It's now a flat layer, and you can't go back. You have to start all over. You know, you have to undo an effect. You have to undo a layer. You have to undo something that, you know, you can't you can't just go back and undo it. And so I feel like for her, I think as she goes along, every so often she needs to save a file, save an image. That way if she kept going and accidentally something goofed up, she could go back to maybe the version she liked the most. Version A through G until she was done, and then when it was all done, she could undo all the versions. But it's a thing that I definitely there's times where I definitely don't close a file until I know absolutely for sure that I love it, and then because once I close it, I lose all the history. I can't undo it. So even in the digital world, undoing artwork can be tricky. And I have overrode things. I have hit the wrong file and started saving over the elements. I have one Christmas file for you guys that I have very few elements of. I only have the final EPSs and JPEGs are all I've got, and I can't redo it. I can't pull elements from it. I've saved over it, or I've deleted the wrong one. Oh, I've deleted stuff. Oh my god. Completely deleted it and went, oh, I can't remake that. That's not good. Yeah, I've had my oopses along with everyone else, and I'm like, oh. So there's no, just because it's digital does not guarantee anything. So does not guarantee you can work something and not lose it all over again, you know. Now, I was trying to see if we wanted to do a little something behind it. As a layer, like, would it be fun, or would it be too much? I found this pink piece of paper. Like, do we put it through there for more color? That's hard to see, right? Do I put that, make it a little thinner, and then put it through. The yellow's a little much, but it's okay. I'm just trying to find places to put it, like, just to give a little bit more emphasis on our design here, so it's just not a yellow piece sitting there. Though we will have it as a bow, so maybe that's actually a better piece to put it down there. One more element, but I want to have some fun with it. Here. Ooh, that's more gold. That's flatter though. Okay, we're just gonna have some fun. So I'm gonna glue this down first, then we'll put the ribbon between it. Okay, so there's that. Then we're going to get our owl. I think it's all, but with only one L, which is interesting. Oh, where did it go? I need my little. I guess I could probably use something else too, but hold on. I think I hate when you misplace something. Oh, there it is. I should have grabbed this. I'm not sure why I wasn't prepared for that. Okay. Just like when you're doing anything else, and I'm going to do it back. Well, I'm going to do it this way. Yes, there we go. Find about middle. And I'm just going to put a hole through it. I'll get in my fingers. That way, when we put the brad in there, it's going to be a lot easier. Less tearing. All that goodies. Ugh. Love these. I think we still have some in the shop. Our pastel ones. I think I have these itty bitty ones, and then I have larger ones. I don't know if I have any bitties, actually. I might be out of my itty bitties. I think we went back to the slightly bigger ones. Where do I have? I know I have some. At least I thought I had some. You know, it's amazing how many jars I have sitting everywhere. And then when I need it, oh, I just dropped that. When I need something, I can't find it. Oh, I did. I just lost one of my, it's on the floor now. We needed this for the Christmas folios, and I had two of them up here. Oh, there it is. Oh, thank God. Like, no. If I have to find it on the bottom, I'm never gonna find it. I had a thing of brads. What did I do with them? I don't know oh, they are in here. Okay, so yeah, we have bigger ones. We have the gold ones, which I thought was too overwhelming. And then I believe, yeah, we were back to the slightly bigger pastel ones. I thought one of my runs, I had bought these, and it ended up coming out with these little guys, which this project works really well. But I think we're back to the bigger ones again for right now in this shop. Sometimes you order things, they just don't do what they're supposed to do. Okay, so that's there, but I don't really want to see the brad, which is why I said the suggestion of this flat, and I think I'm going to trim it so it doesn't stick out. we're not gonna let it be too something that, because then I have to try to like distress the coloring, and I'm like, and then it interferes with our other designs. So, but I did go looking for these things to cover things up. So it's just enough of a flat spot. We're gonna try to glue and hold. So I'm gonna, yeah, show you the decorating, a little bit of the decoration of this. So we're ready to go, and then we're just gonna glue right down these sides and put them on the page once we collage it, which will be next, and won't be too long before we get to that. So what are we up to? What are we, the 20-something, 22nd of the month? I know, I'm already planning next week, which is like technically the last week of August, and so far as I'm considered, like the month is gone. I'm like, no, no, no. So that's cute. So when it does open, you know, we have some decorative piece there. It looks like it's meant to be there. We were just decorating it, and it's not really interfering. And so I love how we have this. I love this will help with our ribbon, which I wanted to do that first because I wanted to get a feel, yeah, because this pops open, for how much I need to potentially create a bow, which is really hard to do when you don't have both ends cut. But I wanted to get a feel for, ooh, I could even do that. Easier said than done when you don't have the other end cut. Who knew? So this is going to be way too long into there right now. Alright, well, let's see. Nope. Hee hee hee. I thought I'd try something, but it's not working, is it? There we go. Not really. Alright. So yeah, more than enough right now. Way more than enough. I mean, we could have a longer string, but I don't need that much. Really don't. Okay. Maybe we'll just wrap it around once and a half, and that would give me an idea of what I need. I'm like, really? Because truthfully, came up, yeah, we'll just do sort of that 1.5 type deal, or 2, and it'll give us plenty. You can decide if it's too much. You can totally trim it down. So I'll give you room, because I don't plan on keeping this one. This will go to somebody. So I got it pretty even. Oh yeah, more than enough space, and that's okay. We are going to, let's do the other one. I was going to do it with the But yes, it was yard work and ordering and just trying to get that nailed down before we know it. She'll be in, she will have her classes started, which will be nice. I'm very happy for her. Though, like we said, she's got a good 40 hours worth of work a week. Though, because it's, I mean, I guess every kid has 7 days, right, usually, but due to how the modules are for online, yeah, she does, you know, it's 40 hours worth of work, but she has technically, you know, 7 days to work on it, from Wednesday morning to the Tuesday night. So that does make a difference, and I think she can lay it out pretty well to match, sort of similar to the block schedule she had in high school. I think she could do the same thing with her classes. So pick which days that help balance things out and go, okay, well, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to do that tomorrow. And okay, so yeah, you can just sort of tuck it up around the edge there, and then you can make your knot. Haha. It's really just to give it something to anchor into. Ta-da, there we go. And keep it folded down so it doesn't get in the way of our book page. So as we're going from one end to the next. Wow. Why I'm struggling today. I really don't think I'm getting enough sleep lately. Oh goodness. Busy mama. Okay, let's see. Let's try this one more time. And voila. There we go. So yeah, it just keeps it tacked up underneath. It's not something where you could wrap it around. You could do a number of things, but you just have this cute straight up. It reminds me of bunny ears. That is so funny. But anyway, we have this very simple thing. Yeah. So when you're done and you've tied it, if anything is too long for your fitting, you can trim it. But I feel like with the amount of what we're doing, it's definitely necessary to have a little more length, so that you can tie it without like stressing out. No need to stress out trying to tie a bow, right? None at all. So yeah, I have one of my little edges and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I could have done a different layer back behind it, but I think I'm okay. All right, so let's get to some collage work here. All right, now because we are collaging this and not, oh, that's right, okay, and not per se just cutting a piece of paper out, we are going to do a little bit of work. Now I do know I can go full 8 inches here, and that'll help. We'll distress. I think I'm going to distress this side too. All 4 sides I think we'll distress. That way I can decide whether this is going to get tucked under or under and over. I sort of wanted to, where'd it go? I'm on it somewhere, aren't I? Aha. Make sure I'm in camera here. Distress, and I know I wanted the greenery, but I think because I don't want it to get blocked, it's already distressed. We're going to go green on the outside. I may do it just like that. I don't know. And so when she's down, you see some here, you see pink, you see some green underneath it, right? I didn't really want to interfere with any of that. I just didn't know if I wanted to go under, so it's just a hint in the corner, because we do have writing here. Like, do we just want to do a hint of it? Right, whatever it takes to finish off 5 1/4 inches, and then this could overlap. But I think I'm gonna definitely distress this because, deckle it, because I don't like the straight edge. If that's deckled, this needs to be deckled. It'll look somewhat continuous underneath, but in reality, this does overlap a little bit, so that's nice. I think we can just do that. So okay, this will stay straight, but because well, maybe not. Nope, I have to do the top and the side. Okay. Trying to figure out what edges need to take what, right? What needs what? But yes, it's been hot. It's been crazy. Busy, busy, busy. The girls are doing good otherwise. And the youngest is enjoying it. She went back to the junior high this week to help with their clinic, as they call it, to get the new kids sort of up to date, see what it means to be in a junior high color guard. And I gotta find my 8-inch mark. This is only downside, there's not 8 inches on this one, so I did this earlier. I realized that I was like, oh, I need to find the 8-inch space on the cutter and then bring out the paper till it matches that, which isn't too bad. It's not the end of the world in its perfection, but it does give me something, and this might be helpful. I think we're definitely collaging the half page, the angled page next to it. So we will definitely be continuing on with that look throughout this fold. But yeah, no, they go back. They can, the freshmen, because they were just there. They've just been going through all of it. They will come back and help during clinics and throughout the year. We had a couple of freshmen who didn't have the time to do certain parts of color guard throughout the year. At the high school, they would do what they could, but couldn't do everything, so they'd come and they'd help out, which was really cool. And so, to keep their feet wet and just to, be part of all of it. And so she got to go do that for a moment, and she really enjoyed that yesterday. Or enjoyed that, Thursday, so she went back on Friday. So even in the heat, they were nice enough to give them a huge fan, though, thank God, because gyms are not cool. I think some of the newer gyms, because of certain games, will put the AC on, but for practices, they will not. They will not do that. They're like, oh, it's practice. We're not going to waste the money. You're like, kids are passing out. So they had a huge fan out in the gym on Thursday because it was 98 degrees. A little warm for us. Now, if this is supposed to be 5 inches or 5 1/4. Yes, that's more 5 1/2, but 5 1/4 here a little bit. Let's go about there. And I want this to semi-tuck in so that we have a nice overlap so that we're not taking chances. I would suggest that would be where I need to put it. So, okay. So I'm using the cutting board to sort of, here I'm at 5 1/4, give or take, so I know what the width of my page should be. So then I'm going to go here and tuck. This was going to get tucked in. This was all I would need to be tucked underneath to finish my 5 1/4 page element. So I can glue each one on their edges and overlap them, and they'll be fine. So the goal is to go like this, and then this goes. So then I can sort of see it. Then this, goes here, and it may not be. So hopefully when we put it down, I'm going to have to eyeball it, that there's enough between these two. I may have to put an interesting piece. Let's see what happens. I'm like, that doesn't look wide enough. When everything got trimmed down just slightly. Oh, she's so thick. This didn't quite look like it was going to be long enough. So, what? Oh, it's catching on the, hold on. It is catching on the magnet's catching on the, all right, so this goes here. This does not cover all the way over. We do see underneath. So I pull it a little bit closer to the edge, and I will have to overlap. We're going to have this huge gap. The only other thing I could do then would be more, no, because you can see the writing underneath, and I will not care for that. I mean, I can barely glue them together, and we just center it and do some extra inking here. Which is not a bad thing. It is really hard sometimes to get into those corners and keep them down. I am noticing a lot of that still, so 5 1/4 is still a little shy. It's a little much. I think 5 1/2 for my coffee dyed if I really want to tuck it in well and not have to do a lot of inking. Alright, so speaking of which, I need to get my lovely smaller thing. It helps to have your brushes because they will get into these corners that we couldn't get into otherwise. Then they're softer. It's just super easy to go here and just start going up and down and different directions, but it's soft brush, and we can definitely darken up and enjoy, you know, our get into these corners and get that nice antique-y used feel. Which this one I want to make sure we do tuck in better because we have this line and we don't want to see it. Over here, not a big deal. You know, we can do a little extra inking. Now, one of the pages I think I have on the other side, I think I'm going to put some lace down on it, you know, to help hide some of that. But, little, you know, we got to keep putting our lace in anyway, so. Alright, so there we go. A little extra darkness everywhere so that if our new papers aren't to the edge, that's okay. So let's get these guys inked. I think I am going to at least the outer edges. Though when you decal, you want that shadow, you want that sort of depth effect. So inking even this, you know, these guys, even though they're going to overlap, is, especially this one, so, you know, so we can see, you know, all this. What would be the point? Sometimes, what's the point of cutting it if you're not going to see it? I'm only going to decal the out. I'm only going to color the outside of this one because that's all we're going to see. We're not going to see the inside, or even the bottom for that matter. So I'm just going to ink that, which looks really nice. But we will ink all aspects of this one, just like that one, because it's going to overlap stuff. So all that fun little tricks. They make all the difference. I mean, if you're just doing a masterboard, we normally don't do a lot of inking. We just lay it out really flat because it is the background of what we're working on. So we, you know, masterboard is not so obvious. Unless we get into that top layer, then we may want some things to stick out. But yeah, we would, masterboard, we just glue it all down. And then once we cut our shapes, then of course we're going to ink what we put on top of it that we decorate with. So at least that's my feel and understanding. So I'm just going to sort of eyeball a nice border here, and however far over it goes, it goes. Later, if it bugs me, we can, if I really want to, we could probably put some kind of washi in here and then put this other one on top of it. My fan on? Oh, it is. And I'm feeling it, not feeling it. Whew. Especially when you have to do stuff under the light, right? Okay, so now, yeah, we're going to go here and hope. Oof, it is really tight. So I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more so that it, for the most part, may not perfectly overlap, but we are going to, I'm sort of, because I don't really want to move it because I just got it where I want it. I'm going to glue it down in sections so that I can maybe get a little bit more specific where I want it to go. With the joy, again, of glitter glue and having such a thin tip, we can sort of get into those little crevices and not stress as much. And there's some, what do you want to call it? It's glue stick underneath there. All right, so let's try and flatten that before the fold. I'm so glad I went for a soft cover, guys. This softer, we just went over the edge, leaving this to do its job, but that the back is just a nice soft, you know, fabric that we, did I put, I think I, no, there might be press board in there, but yeah, we glued it on into the book. Like, we found ways to make sure that it stays glued to the book, and hopefully that will, you know, with reinforcement to do what we need to do. Why is that one bent? That one was not meant to be bent. I'm like, whoops. Oh, it is meant to be bent. Oh, I was like, why? Oh, we took the, oh, how funny. We did it like that, the way I folded it. I was like, why is that struggling? That's why I thought it was weird, because I folded it, but I didn't pay attention to, there we go. Don't need it. Some people cut them off. They cut them really thin and barely glue them down. Others, like myself, just glue them down for some, to make the pages a little thicker to help. And we just go ahead and, you know, put it down. I was like, why is that not working for me? Because I was trying to get that to be out of the way of the, that's all right. Now I know why. That's fine. Okay. All right. So even with things, when we do washi tapes, when you do these guys, a glue stick, it has a tendency of bowing pages because you're tightening it. You're putting it down and it seems to tighten the tension of the page when we like, no, you can still lay flat. There's no need to do that. But okay, now let's, I think we can do this one carefully. And I think with, you know, we can put the new, hopefully get the new magnet down, second magnet down pretty carefully. And I know I got glue where I shouldn't have. All right, so we are going to line it up with the bottom, try to line it up with the side, and just barely touch it, and it worked. It did work in the end. We got it right where I wanted to be, I hope. So that, you know, and getting to the back of the book, it is a lot harder to keep that probably flat anyway. I'd probably need a lot more. It is already it's, you know, it's popping up because it's the end of the book. Now if I laid the book sort of flat near the back here, it does pretty well. But all right, it is the back of the book. All right, let's do that. And then, because that's just what it needs to be. That is the focus. That is all the focus there is. Like one of these, we're going to put a tab on the ephemera, so you know that there's sort of something sticking out, so you realize that there's something else going on, which is always fun. But by just gluing down the side here on both sides, we're making a sort of belly band tuck, or belly band. I shouldn't say tuck because we're not tucking it to the side. It's a belly band of some sort, so something can shuffle top and bottom. A tuck is something that would just go in one side. And this can go from top and bottom. And I'm gonna pick it up and flatten it, because if I keep it the other way, it's gonna bow. So we're just gonna press down, and then we can be able to put that cute, once we decorate it, tag behind it. We have this lovely pink floral tag that we're gonna umph a little bit and do some into the top and bottom. And you have, you know, once I also ink the back, you have a journal tag to work with. And this is a nice one because this one has a sort of a scallop to it. So it has my 5 hump scallop to it. So that's, you know, lovely. To help decorate and make pretty. So there we go. So I will probably have to do an ephemera day, but oh my gosh, it's getting warm. One of those things like, why did I take a shower? That's why I did my hair curly, that's for sure. So it's sticking, or is it coming up? Coming up a little bit. We'll probably have to do a few rounds of glue just to make sure, section by section. All right, on to the next thing. So we're going to continue with this look with all the papers we used, and we're going to cover this. But first thing first, good. After all of that, I didn't even think about where the magnet was. That would have been bad. As far as I know, we're covered. See, there it is. I can tell I got the right side because the glue is still sitting on this side. I can see it, but I want to be able to glue it here. And that's sort of the problem. I am, let's do the fabric tack. I did both. Let's try to glue it down and see if it'll stick. Well, I put together sort of a 5.5 by something over here. They stick really well, and they are a little softer once you get paper in between them. Where, you know, it doesn't seem such like a tight fit, but it's getting to that point, and that's the problem I'm having right now. It's getting to that point. So let me see if I can get something I can clasp well enough. Right, trying to flatten it out because it is going to move a little bit because every time you move you fold this down, the page moves. So what I'm going to do is do this. See if I can keep it sort of flat for a second. Let it sit and see if it'll adhere well enough that maybe I can slip a piece, like slide a piece of paper in between the magnets to open it up, and then we can collage back on. So in some ways I can cheat. I could cheat. I know it's about 3 inches up. I could use, it looks like we did it from the other direction already once. So I could take this page and go, you know, I say 5 1/4, 5 1/2, and 3 up, and then, you know, go across to the top. I think it's because I think it's a perfect dot in the corner. It's pretty much this reverse. So I could, maybe we'll cut this one out, and then I could, you know, just upside down or whatever, you know, flip it this way and trace it, and we would see exactly what kind of space we had. And I can either decide to, I don't know whether to take, parts of me wants to take pieces that we have left over instead and sort of like collage something on. Parts of me doesn't really want to do it one full piece of paper. Like, I sort of want to create our own because we have these scraps left over. So let's do that. Here, I have an idea. Let's see if we can create our own template for the space, right? This may become helpful later, so maybe that's not wasted on something that we could probably use elsewhere. And then I need every piece I can get these days. So with this one, we have to sort of cut our way through it because, like I said, this is sort of, it only goes about, you know, 8 1/2 deep, but it won't go super far. Now, I need to cut up here. I need to cut across. I could cut a smidge outside of it, and that would then allow me to cut it down. Because I really do want to not, but I don't want to go too far up and like mess with it because I really want to use every last ounce of this paper. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut just outside of the line that I created. I did measure, I did use a ruler to try and get me what I needed. Because like I said, I think this is going to be on the other side. We're going to utilize it. We're going to use it on the other side. That will be sort of, we're going to fussy cut out what we need. So here we're going to, I'm actually going to go here first because we know it needs to, we already know it's 8 inches. Not that you can tell this way. It's sort of a bummer. But there we go. And yeah, and I measured up about 3 inches. I think it's about 3 inches. Measured up, yeah, it was 3 inches, and then to the top corner because that one I folded perfect. I went straight to the corner with that one. I didn't do that little top edge that we normally have. Now this one, you just match up both ends of your line and hope for the best. There we go. Now there's some markings in that, but you know, my little scraps that I love so much. All right, let's see if we did this right. Well, let's see, ladies and gentlemen, did I do it right or did I completely goof this up? And believe me, I was doing this pretty early in the morning when I was attempting to do this. All right, and I like a little bit, you know, it's something that, it is 8 to the top corner, but maybe not so much on the bottom. You know what, we're going to do it. We're going to ink everything, and if you see a little bit of wording, great. If you don't, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with just sort of creating this bottom edge here and letting it, you know, maneuver accordingly. But yeah, that's it. So that's going to be the reverse on the other side. Let's see if I can get, well, maybe, come on. I'm trying. Aha, I did it. Okay, woohoo. Oh my gosh, let's try to keep it open. Let that sit. Now that it's gluing down, and when we cover the paper and glue around it, it's going to keep that magnet in place and not have things, you know, rip through. So the careful part is keeping it open and not accidentally closing it until I absolutely have to. All right, so let's ink this so I don't forget. So it's all pretty, so when I do get excited, I can just glue it down. So I hope you've pulled out your favorite continued forgotten project or your recent project. Most of you know, you could have pulled out a fall one that maybe you had started last year and just didn't get to. Maybe you got some pieces that you're working on from a retreat, or you're starting to finish your stockpile, your inventory for your fall and Christmas flea market craft shows. You know, and starting about mid-November here, we started doing a lot of holiday craft boutiques, and for all of the little things in town and nearby towns, and so we definitely get going with it. Now, this would be the reverse side. So what I wanted to do, sorry, hold on for. Oh, that's weird. Someone's trying to get into something and I don't know why. Okay. I figured since this is the reverse, it would allow us, I sort of like this piece and I sort of wanted to utilize it as sort of a, part of our mesh, and it really fits actually really nice here once I cut this edge off. So, that's really weird how they got into self-service. I wonder who's trying to get in. One of my daughters. It probably could very well be my youngest. They may be trying to use something on their phone, which I'm so shocked because they're not really supposed to use them in school. She may be trying to do something for school on her phone, and it's not allowing her to. Well, she'll text me, I guess. Okay, so that fits nicely here. Beautiful. We could even then, with that, be able to utilize, it might be harder to cut, but we could utilize this piece here as an edge. Glue that one down to cover up that. All right. If we do it right, I'm able to glue just slightly together and create this, and then maybe carefully cut it without gluing it to this, or flip it around and pencil it so that we know what we have going. So I feel like with the right deckled edge, once we're done, that works with this. You know me, here we go. I'm gonna be like, oh, let's do this and that. Almost covers. It's not perfect. We do have that white that shows up right there, which not on my top 10 list. That might be the better. See if we can get to see if this one's any thicker, if this gives me what I'm looking for to cover it. Now that I can't ink the book page, and even if a little book page showed up underneath, but trying to see if I can avoid it. Yeah, I think it'll cover. All right, so let's just rest this. I should just bring this up here and keep it up here, but we're gonna have a fun little itty bitty moment here of collaging, which this book is very much a floral collage altered book. There's some spots where I can't tell the difference between the ephemera and the page, because the page is digitally collaged or physically collaged, and then we have something that is definitely a master board of collage papers to create some of our much larger ephemera. So it's been pretty fun in that retrospect. All right, we got that there and there. I mean, I could make it a little smaller, but yeah, it's a little bit more, it's a little tighter than I expected. I mean, we're going to have a little bit, no, this is though, so this has to really be almost the same size because we are, going to the same edge. This is not the page edge, that is the ordeal. So, we're going to see a little bit about. And this doesn't go top and bottom. Oh, it does go top and bottom, I think. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Bummer that there's not the pink down here. It is more beige. It's almost a matchy of that. I could cut that off, but let's see. Oh yeah, we have room to maneuver and see a little bit of pink. Can even go up and above a little bit, but we could just tap it, and I think we would be fine. And ooh, that goes white. So the only thing I got to be careful of is that we aren't. That white is not there when we're done. So if I get too tight. Okay, so we have that. I think that would work. I do need to do two things. So let's make sure there's not too many flat edges here, just a little bit. Let's ink it. This is, I know we're collaging this, and we ink the other page, right? So we're gonna ink all these rough edges on this side too, because we want dimension here. There we go. Okay. So as we get going, I can start slowly but surely gluing these down to each other very carefully, so as to not glue to this, but that is our template. So, all right, so there's that. This needs to be inked. If we do this right, very few pieces will need to be trimmed off. Hopefully, if I do it right. We're gonna go here. Here's this darling piece as a template. We're going to get you tucked in there. All right, we are gonna definitely work our way through this, because I do not want any issues. I don't want it to keep moving. I really don't. I don't need a lot of glue. I just need enough to, you know, make sure that things are not constantly moving. That's why we tape down like wax paper and stuff like that when we do happy planners and sticker layouts and things like that, because we want to tentatively create a template of like a spec, but we want to be able to pull things up while we go and put it back, and if we tape things in place, things don't keep moving around and we don't miss, our spacing isn't off. Okay, so bummer as this may be, let me do this. I want to make sure, even if I end up cutting more off, I don't want to end up moving this too far forward or back, that where I cannot eyeball where the edge of the page is, and so I end up cutting our new digital short, our new diagonal short. That will not be helpful at all. Okay, so I want to make sure that when we line this up, it lines up with that, like we do with everything else. That way I know for sure that we have all the coverage that we need. And see, now I know for sure that it goes to the length here. I can go out if I need to, or I can, you know, but at least I know it's going to cover both ends without any issues. We have a nice diagonal to work with. Okay, so we've got this page, which would pull the pink from the other side, right, from our actual thing. So we can get that in there, and then really it's just one more something in this corner, which I could do more writing, or wait, what, that's another piece. Oh, it's a bigger piece. Oh, there we go. I guess we could use the bigger piece. That way that would pull actually from what little we have on the other side. We could do this. I don't know whether to go all the way up or not. I'm wondering if maybe not. Maybe it is. I mean, this goes all the way up, but this does not, and we're just going to do enough to, yeah, I think once we cut everything. All right, so let's edge this one. And it's nice because, like I said, we're pulling some of the elements from both sides, and that's always beneficial. It's nice to have things work together. I'm wondering if, there we go, we want a torn, well, no, this is torn, this is straight, right? This is, you know, everything is doing its job here. But really, this is the only one that's a really torn image, torn thought. And when it's done, we'll just decal across that edge together. Yep, okay, let's do a little inking. Hopefully give you guys ideas, ways to figure out how to maybe collage a page that has a very unusual shape. Since we are doing a nice clean cut on the other half, we get to use that as a template to create the shapes that we need to do the inside. I'm hoping that makes sense, right? All right, so let's lay this here and this up here for just a second. Let's get this one down here where I think we need it to line up, making sure everything looks good. And I'm just going to anchor down some pieces, and I'm just going to glue where I know, there is connection that doesn't require it underneath. That isn't going to hit the other side. This is where it is. There we go. Came right up, so I know it's not connecting. It's not sticking to anything else. And we are going to then now, I can't go too far out because yeah, that definitely needs to connect. So we are going to the edge with this one because I can't go above and beyond it because that one did not come over quite enough. Go over a little bit, under, tweak. Okay, it can be a little bit lesser, more or less, but we're gonna utilize that. We're gonna go right here. Press upward so that it, okay. Let's get this one out of the way so we do not do any more damage to it, or don't take a chance. I've done so far so good. So we're just gonna go down this edge of the paper, letting whatever connects it connect. Ta-da! I know. Most of you know how to do this. I just thought it was fun. I was like, wait, let's see if we can make a template, or make a template without making a template, and making sure everything works together. Okay, so for the most part, it's just cutting up here and cutting down here, and yeah, like certain edges up this way, and this way. And we should have a nice diagonal pocket collage. I hope. There we go, just enough. Probably cut that one a little down farther than it should have, but let's do that off there. And pretty much just finding our flat edges and lining it up, and a little gooey. Small little glue. And last one. Now you can make these all really flat, I mean, you can make them all straight edges if you really wanted to, but when you have everything else deckled, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to. There we go. A few pieces I might keep, so I can't help myself. I like using itty bitty pieces sometimes when I'm doing clusters, trying to work it all in. Oh, it's getting warm out here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so technically, they're all but the same size. So if one fits, the other one fits, right? Oh, that didn't go too bad. That was nice. We're using our pieces. We have a nice page, which if I find the right border lace, if I feel it's not going to get in the way of the, I wanted to do a border lace pocket here, but I have to make sure that it doesn't get in the way of the magnet. So too much, these guys are really thin. They're really great. They do stick pretty good, but too much material in it, I think it would definitely get in the way. And we wouldn't be able to use our magnets after all of that. That would be sort of a bummer, right? So believe me, after I've tried gluing that I don't know how many times, last thing I want to do is have to have something ripped out. Trying to get this taken care of. So let's see how we're doing. We're probably coming up on our time also, though I've felt like we're doing good on our, yeah, see, 53 minutes. It really doesn't take long. So we'll get this edge and the other one done. The other one's pretty easy. I mean, sort of the same concept, but so I can, really we're just going to line it up with this. We're going to let the rest sort of sit left and right, and I'm okay with that. So I think I'm going to, we're going to glue up here best we can, the edge to a point. I know we'll go pretty much top and bottom. Sides are a little different, and I think we're going to glue this on this end because that's where it's tight and getting, you know, I'm going to have a harder time getting glue into this spine than I'm going to get anywhere else. So, and in the corner, so we're going to do a little bit of that, and the rest I think I can do if I need to later. There we go. A little more glue because this is drying extremely fast. It's warm out here. The joy of it. I love doing things ahead of time, but oh my goodness, I'm not working really early for you guys. I'm not doing this way beforehand, or I'm not doing this like crack of dawn morning and then putting it up. Takes too long. 1-hour videos is still taking about an hour and a half to load, but it's getting better, so that's nice. I'm doing enough videos that YouTube's starting to be nicer and nicer to me. Not letting it have it take 3 hours to upload something. There we go. We have our corner, we have our edging. Give it a moment, I want it to dry. So I think I'm going to try to put something in between it for a moment. Oh, it still does it, but I don't want it to yank on it. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go up along this edge carefully without getting the ribbon. Let's see if we can get that ribbon out of the way for a second. There we go. Up into the corner some, down the edges. I'm going to do most of this. I probably went too far over on that one side, but the joy is you can wipe it off and use it as a paste and sort of get it all going. We're going to get this corner really good, just in case. And we're going to leave the rest of it on the page. I put my fingers in it. This one had a little bit more playroom. Still a nice tight corner over here though, so we'll press down. And I did forget to ink that, ink the page itself, which I'm just gonna have to go back in there with a much smaller. That's actually a really good magnet. It is going through the plastic. I was moving stuff and I was like, that's holding nicely actually. I'm actually impressed. Clean all that up, so I will get in here with the tinier even brush and get some ink in there, because I normally ink really heavily around the coffee dye pages and then put, the coffee dyes on them. So yeah, got to need almost a 5.5 inches, over 5.25 inches to cover these pages and not have a lot of book page around the edges and get into these crevices a little bit better. But it seems to be the thing throughout. I am sort of struggling with, I forgot about this. Oh, let's see if we can glue that down. Where is my bone folder? Itty bitty bone folders lets you get in here, or smaller bone folders lets you get in here and try to press and glue things down. That's what I was worried about. I didn't want to pull too far out from anything just to get it glued down. But in here I'm pressing into the spine. I'm pressing down and up a little bit to like down and then pressing upward to try to make sure the glue really does connect with the page. And hopefully, without ripping anything, making sure everything's glued down. Oh. Okay, so we have some cluster that has some similar coloring to this. We have this lovely, so for contrast, we have this, right? You can see a pretty blue and green. We have more, we have more of the flowers, these beautiful peonies, rose and or pink roses. You can see pink and green back here. Opens up so much easier than a Velcro. Right, we have our tuck that we'll decorate. Then all you have to do is carefully untie this. Let me say that carefully. Sorry, I'm looking for a top before I dry out. There we go, my glue. It actually works every time I close it. It closes nicely. Then you just have to carefully, I pulled down a little bit. It undoes the basic knot. And we have our ephemera pocket wallet here, where we have right now 2 pieces of ephemera. This one will decorate up and give it a little bit more of an extended tab to the tag here. Or I'll do it to this bottom one. Maybe it's going to be this bottom one actually that lets you know to untie it and then use the tab of the ephemera to open it. Yeah, we will do that. We'll enhance this one. Corner it and then put a tab on it, and we can make that a little bit more prominent. This one is going to be decorated and hidden a little bit. We'll decide whether if I put one more piece of lace or something here to maybe put a secondary piece in there if I find one. If I find another piece of ephemera that works really nicely, we'll put something else in there. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We took our, junk mail envelope repurpose, and we turned it into an ephemera pocket that then became a belly band in our altered book, which I love. And since the same papers were being used, I just got to keep the theme going, and we got to enjoy this lovely ordeal. So there it is. We've got the 2 rose pages that go in here. All right, nice and easy, and they are plain enough in the middle where it's writing space. We don't lose that. We get the beautiful writing space. And then I will use the leftover pieces from the front, and we will collage in, I think, some reverse here. We may cut this out. I'm going to overlap it with her. We're going to use this, in ways to cover this, and there should be just a square enough maybe left over to finish this, and we glue it down and you have another large pocket. So there you go. We're using up everything we've got. So there we go. That's going to help finish this off. These are going here to make writing space in our active sections on front and back. It is set down with a magnet, simple, easy peasy. We might put a small, bordered lace, a European border lace here. I have quite a bit. I've tucked it all away. Whether it be pink or green, I have some border lace that we can put here, so we do have another pocket option. And then we have our tuck here with our envelope wallet. So thank you all very much for liking, loving, commenting, hitting the subscriptions, right? We really appreciate the subscriptions, but making sure you also hit the notifications and the alerts and the push notifications so that you know when a new video comes up. So you're always on top of what's going on. You know what I'm up to, what I'm doing, what I'm selling, what I'm creating, what we're doing in the shop, updates, all that jazz. And we'll go from there. So have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for coming along on this Saturday craft. And we will talk all real soon. Love you. Bye-bye.